Welcome back to another Deep Dive Techstination Weekly Wrap-Up. I'm Fred Fishkin, but your hosts for this podcast are AI generated by Google's Notebook LM. Not quite perfect yet, at least sometimes, but I hope you'll find it worthwhile. Here we go.
All right, so we're back for another deep dive, and this time we're going to be looking at Techstination.
Okay.
So, for those of you who might not be familiar with the website, it's basically just like a one-stop shop for everything Techstination. You know, they've got Fred Fishkin. He's kind of like the correspondent. He does a lot of the gadget reviews and really insightful interviews.
Yeah.
And they cover a wide range of stuff too. Like it's not just, computers and phones. They get into photography, video games, kids' techs, online trends, you name it.
I mean, the variety is really impressive.
It is. So for this deep dive, we're specifically zeroing in on the interviews section.
So let's jump in.
Let's do it. So first up, we've got this interview that kind of caught my eye. It's a sneak peek at SeaWorld San Diego's new Jewels of the Sea exhibit.
Oh, wow.
And it's all about jellyfish.
Jellyfish, huh?
Yeah, jellyfish. Yeah. Which honestly, I mean, it seems kind of out there, but like...
It's not the first thing that comes to mind when you think SeaWorld.
Right. It's like, where are the orcas? But it got me thinking, like, is this maybe a sign of a new trend in aquariums?
Yeah.
Moving away from,
Yeah, the bigger, more traditional animals.
big charismatic megafauna.
Exactly, and focusing on something a little bit, I guess you could say a little bit more mesmerizing and kind of otherworldly.
Right. Yeah, those jellyfish, they're just like floating. They're like aliens.
They are, yeah. I mean, it's a completely different vibe than, say, watching dolphins do tricks or something.
Totally. Okay, so moving on, we've got an interview about the total lunar eclipse. But I also thought it'd be cool to like tie this back to tech a little bit.
Sure.
Are there any cool apps or tools that people can use for sky watching these days?
Oh, absolutely. Tons. I mean, there are apps that can help you identify constellations, planets, even satellites passing overhead.
Wow.
Some of them even have augmented reality features, so you can like hold up your phone and it'll tell you exactly what you're looking at.
That's so cool. It's like having your own personal planetarium in your pocket.
Exactly.
All right. So next up, we have an interview about the GrandPad tablet. And it's kind of evolving. It's got AI chat now, games, and all sorts of stuff.
Okay. So for those who don't know, the GrandPad is basically a tablet that's specifically designed for seniors.
Right. It's got like a simplified interface.
Yeah. Large icons, easy to use.
And now this AI integration, it's really significant, I think, because it's like it's taking it to the next level in terms of making technology more accessible to a wider audience.
Absolutely. I mean, it can help with things like staying connected with family, keeping their minds sharp with games.
Right.
And even providing companionship through the AI chat.
It's like having a digital companion right there with them.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Okay, so switching gears a bit, Fred also interviewed the Ford Heritage Fleet.
Okay.
Now, this one really stood out to me because it's not just about, collecting old cars.
Right.
It's about like learning from the past.
Right.
How does Ford actually use these historical vehicles?
Well, they use them for inspiration for their engineers. They study the design choices, the engineering solutions of the past to glean insights that can inform their modern designs.
That's so smart.
It's like they're saying, hey, we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Let's see what worked before. Let's see what didn't work.
And use that to build something even better.
Exactly.
All right, so next up, we've got the Asus ZenBook Duo.
Ooh, I've heard good things about this one.
Yeah, this laptop is like the ultimate multitasking machine. It's got two screens.
Two screens, huh?
Two screens. And Fred really emphasized its amazing versatility. Like, what does that actually mean for the average user?
No, I think for creatives especially, it's a game changer. I mean, imagine being a graphic designer. You could have your image on one screen and all your tools and palettes on the other.
Oh, that'd be a dream.
Or for video editors, you could have multiple timelines and previews open at the same time.
It's like having a mobile studio.
Yeah, it really expands the possibilities.
All right, speaking of possibilities, Fred also talked about Discovery Education bringing a free sandbox to Chromebooks.
Now, this is something I think a lot of parents and educators will be interested in.
For sure.
So this sandbox is basically a digital space where students can experiment, create, explore complex concepts.
It's like a virtual playground for learning.
Exactly. And the fact that it's free on Chromebooks is huge because it means that more students can access it.
It's all about democratizing access to education.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now there's this other thread that kind of runs through a lot of these interviews, and it's something that I think we need to talk about more and more, which is the role of AI. So Fred actually featured content that was created by an AI called Notebook LM.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it did like weekly wrap-ups for Techstination.
So it was actually generating summaries of the content.
Exactly. And it kind of makes you think, like, what does this mean for the future of content creation? When AI can analyze data and generate articles or summaries or even, scripts, like, who knows?
Right. I mean, it's a powerful tool, but it also raises a lot of questions about ethics and the value of human insight and creativity.
It's a conversation that we need to have for sure.
Yeah.
So moving on from that, Fred interviewed BirdBuddy.
Okay.
Now, this is the company that makes those smart bird feeders that we've talked about before.
Oh, yeah. I remember those.
But what's interesting is that they're branching out. They're not just doing bird feeders anymore.
So they're expanding their horizons?
Exactly. And I think this kind of signals a trend that we're seeing with a lot of tech companies these days. It's like they're constantly adapting and evolving.
Right. They can't just stay in one lane anymore.
Exactly. You got to look for new opportunities, new ways to apply your expertise.
It's all about staying ahead of the curve.
Right. And sometimes it's about looking back to move forward, which is what Ford is doing with their Heritage fleet. They're not just showcasing these classic cars, but they're using them as inspiration and a learning tool for their engineers.
Yeah. They're studying those old designs, trying to figure out what worked, what didn't work.
And using that knowledge to inform their modern designs.
That's a really smart approach.
It is. And speaking of the past, Fred also interviewed Acclaim Entertainment.
Acclaim Entertainment.
Yeah, they're back. They're making a comeback.
Wow, that's a blast from the past.
Right. I mean, they were known for games like Turok and Mortal Kombat back in the day.
Yeah, I spent many hours playing those games.
So it makes you wonder, like, what other classic companies might make a comeback?
Yeah.
What is it about nostalgia that's so powerful?
I think it's a combination of things. Maybe it's a longing for simpler times or a desire for something familiar in a world that's constantly changing.
Yeah, it's like comfort food for the soul.
Exactly.
All right, so Fred also covered the 2025 Toy Fair.
Toy Fair.
Yeah, it's still a thing.
I thought those were going extinct with the rise of digital toys and video games.
You would think, right.
Yeah.
But they're still going strong, and it really highlights the enduring power of tangible play.
I mean, there's something special about holding a toy in your hands.
Right. It's a different kind of experience than just swiping on a screen.
Totally. And I think parents are starting to realize that too.
They want their kids to have those tactile experiences.
Exactly.
Okay, so last but not least, we have the Sleep Vibe.
Sleep Vibe.
Yeah, this is a device that's designed to help you sleep better.
Oh, interesting.
It's kind of ironic, right? Like, we're using technology to help us disconnect from technology and get a better night's sleep.
It speaks to our growing awareness of just how important sleep is for our mental and physical health.
Yeah, we're finally starting to prioritize it.
And it's no wonder with all the stress and stimulation of modern life.
Exactly. So, I mean, we've got everything here from jellyfish exhibits at SeaWorld to AI-generated content to gadgets that help us sleep better.
Yeah.
It's really just a testament to how technology is influencing every aspect of our lives.
Yeah, these interviews really offer a fascinating glimpse into the present and future of tech. And it's not just about the gadgets themselves, it's about how technology is shaping the way we live, the way we work, the way we learn, the way we play.
Exactly. And I think the big takeaway here is that technology is a powerful tool, but it's up to us to use it wisely. We need to think about the ethical implications. We need to consider the long-term consequences, and we need to make sure that technology is being used to benefit everyone.
Those are all really important points.
So I guess my final question for you and for everyone listening is, what area of tech from these interviews resonated with you the most? What got you thinking? What made you excited?
Yeah, and what does it make you think about the future that we're building with technology?
Exactly.
So head over to Techstination, check out the full interviews, see what sparks your curiosity, and until next time, happy exploring.
That's it for this weekly deep dive wrap up. Thanks for being with us. I'm the human here, Fred Fishkin.